a lot of people sold this argument that, oh, why is it that wherever Igbos are, they try to make trouble? No, that is xenophobic actions of the nations. It is because before you find 3 Yoruba person, you will see 10 Igbo man there. Before you find 2 Fulani people, you will see 1 million Igbo people there. So when they are talking about foreigners, it seems as Igbo's identity will now come out first. And people will say, it is Igbos. No, it is not. I studied this thing years back, and I presented it to this Pan-African meeting last year. And I told them that, no, the problem is not about Igbo's identity or Igbo's nation. This is because the xenophobic action against foreigners will first affect the majority of foreigners. In South Africa, when you look at nations who have majority tribe, I think Zimbabwe is also a country in South Africa. Let me say far countries that are in South Africa, you will see Nigeria at the forefront. In Ghana, you see Nigeria at the forefront. If you come to, even in Europe, go to Japan, go to Canada, go to America, Igbos are always there. So any xenophobic action, every racism being targeted at foreigners, it seems that they are being targeted at Igbos. This is the problem. This is Thursday, April 30, 2026. In so many countries of the world, there are some countries especially who don't like foreigners to be in their country. And that attitude is not good at all. Nigeria had that attitude before. At a time, they were telling the Ghanaians in Nigeria to go. And they call it Ghana must go. Why? They said Ghanaians are taking their jobs and all those things. That is a demonic attitude. At a time, Ghana was doing the same thing. They were asking Nigerians in their country to go. Now the South Africa is also carrying out xenophobic actions against foreigners. You know what I'm going to tell you in this video? When it was happening last year, we had a Zoom meeting. They were calling out Igbos in Nigeria, the Igbo tribe in Nigeria. They said, no, it is Igbos. I was totally on a different opinion on that meeting. I was telling them that I am not emotional. I don't come out to speak because others are speaking. I don't come out to talk because others are talking. And when I talk, I want you to always document what I'm telling you because it's a product of research. I told them one thing, that give Ghana, South Africa, and some other countries who are telling Igbos to leave, or Igbos from Nigeria, Igbo tribe, they are not welcome. Give them time. They will begin to do the same thing to other nationals in their country. They said, why did you say so? I say, this is because this is not all about Igbos. They are doing it because there is no place you will go on earth without an Igbo man, without an Igbo person. These people used to travel. They are entrepreneurs. And wherever they are traveling, they don't travel to come to your city to hide. They will come to your city to dominate it, build mansions, build businesses. This is what is actually going on. And a lot of people kept quiet in that meeting. It seems that what I say is sinking into their brain, but they did not arrive at the conclusion with my suggestion. So the meeting ended that day with a majority of them believing that the problem is all about Igbos. Now, in South Africa today, when they started by telling you that, oh, there was a man who want to become an Igbo king. We don't need it. I was the first person to tell them that, no, this has nothing to do with Igbos. Watch out what is going to unfold. It's all about a xenophobic action against foreign nationals. And what is going on today? You see what is going on. So I have been vindicated. Now, they call themselves Pan-Africanists. I'm trying to tell you more about the meeting I had that last year. They call themselves Pan-Africanists. And they said the mission is to make Africa to be one. And if they want to make Africa to be one, they don't like to hear when we come out to say that nations should be divided. That was just the business of the meeting that already. So I was trying to tell them that, listen, if Africa is going to be one, let us be one in visa-free, military cooperation, and business cooperation. I cited an example with the European Union. European Union, the Schengen area is like one country. They share intelligence. If you have visa for France, you can travel to the rest Schengen country. If you have visa for Austria, for Czech Republic, for Croatia, for Italy, you can go to any other country again. That is the cooperation we are talking about. Saying Africa should be one. Africa should be one in the sense that I am not supposed to use visa to travel to any other African country. You understand? This is the kind of thing we are saying Africa should be one. But when it comes to nation has to do with a cultural identity. Africa should never be one as a one country. When Gaddafi was telling people that let Africa unite, in 2012, Gaddafi predicted that Nigeria must divide for Nigeria to have peace. So when Gaddafi was praying for Africa to unite, Gaddafi was not even thinking of making all countries to be one. Never. Never. Gaddafi predicted that if Nigeria did not divide, that there will not be peace in Nigeria. I want you to go back and study the intervention of Gaddafi in Nigeria. That was his own aim, and people rejected it that he don't know what he was saying, but he actually knew what he was talking about. So you see what is going on in Africa. Africa is not one as a nation. I know you. I just believe you know the meaning of a nation, because when you hear about a nation, you think Nigeria is a nation. No, Nigeria is not a nation. It's just a country. A country is a product of human creation, but a nation is nature, natural creation. A nation has to do with people's identity. That is why if I see the problems of the world, I laugh, because they don't understand that nature, or should I say God made nation specially. Like, if you are from my tribe, we are supposed to be a country. The tribe of these people is supposed to be a country of their own. Like, every tribe that speaks similar language, similar culture or value system, that is a nation, and that is supposed to be a country. But when you join heterogeneous nations into one country, you create dispute. You know why I'm saying this? A lot of people sold this argument that, oh, why is it that wherever Igbos are, they try to make trouble? No, that is xenophobic actions of the nations. It is because before you find 3 Yoruba person, you will see 10 Igbo man there. Before you find 2 Fulani people, you will see 1 million Igbo people there. So when they are talking about foreigners, it seems as Igbo's identity will now come out first. And people will say, it is Igbos. No, it is not. I studied this thing years back, and I presented it to this Pan-African meeting last year. And I told them that, no, the problem is not about Igbo's identity or Igbo's nation. This is because the xenophobic action against foreigners will first affect the majority of foreigners. In South Africa, when you look at nations who have majority tribe, I think Zimbabwe is also a country in South Africa. Let me say far countries that are in South Africa, you will see Nigeria at the forefront. In Ghana, you see Nigeria at the forefront. If you come to, even in Europe, go to Japan, go to Canada, go to America, Igbos are always there. So any xenophobic action, every racism being targeted at foreigners, it seems that they are being targeted at Igbos. This is the problem. This is the problem. So it has nothing to do with Igbos. I spent time trying to counter the argument. So that was why I went to that, that Pan-African meeting, and I explained everything to them. And you know why I'm making this video? I believe they will go back to what I told them, because the Zoom meeting was screen recorded. It was recorded. Everything I told them last year is happening today now. I told them that all these nations saying that Igbos should leave, Igbos are the problem, some people in Nigeria were amplifying it. I was telling them that no, this is because Igbos are majority of the tribes there, people doing business, people progressing. This is not targeted at Igbos. It is targeted at foreign nations. This is a xenophobic attack. People said, no. What is happening now? Every nations of Africa, all of them are feeling the heat now. Ghana is now angry at South Africa. Ethiopia is now trying to raise a sanction on South Africa. Nigeria is mute. Nigeria government have not done anything tangible. I think by now, if Nigeria is a real country, the ambassador of Nigeria to South Africa should have been recalled. I don't even know whether Nigeria even have ambassador there. They could have sacked South African ambassador to Nigeria, and then the diplomatic war starts. But they won't do that. They won't do that. So I told people what is going on today. That is why if I'm telling you something, I'm a kind of human being that is never emotional. I don't say what I say because of emotion or because I want to trend. No. I'm very careful of what I say because I am always mindful of the future. Internet is a dangerous place. I'm not a kind of person that wish to say something on internet here. Tomorrow I will deny what I say like Daniel. No, I didn't say that. No, I didn't say that. You said Tinubu form militia. No, I didn't say that. Why did I say so? No, I'm not the kind of person like that. Anything I'm saying here, I will eat it tomorrow. Okay? Because it is never a vomit. I'm stating the fact for you. This is only way Africa can be one, through cooperation, visa cooperation, business cooperation, and military cooperation. Apart from that, every nation in Africa ought to get, have independence of their own. That is the solution to Africa's greatness. Disintegrate Africa to nations and cooperate through business, military, and intelligence. That is it. Well, you may put arguments, but no problem. Next 10 years, you will come back to this video and understand what I'm saying. Nigeria is a case study of what I'm saying. Nigeria is a country where, since 1960, all the whole intellectuals, both pseudo intellectuals, have been putting on solution, talking about different kinds of rubbish, saying this is the solution, this is the solution, this is the solution, but there is one they have not tried. There is one thing they have not tried. That is the implementation of Aburi Accord, of having the courage to partition Nigeria. That is what they don't have courage to try, and that is the only solution. Yes, every nation, if they have problem, it is easy to solve. But heterogeneous nation, if they have problem, it is not easy to solve. Yugoslavia is an example of what I'm talking about. Yugoslavia could have scattered Europe by now, but they have to divide into so many countries. I think 6 countries. India and Pakistan is an example. If India and Pakistan is still in one country as they were before, by now, atomic bomb, nuclear war could have been going on in the Asia there. But they divided. Even up till now, they used to throw missiles between 2 countries upon they have divided. These are the things we are talking about. So the issue of all this attack going on is not all about Igbos, but this is a xenophobic attack against foreign nations. And it seems Igbos are the forefront because they are dominating everywhere, businesses, otherwise, and so many things. So if you get it, comment on the comment section and let me know what you think.